My boyfriend was trying to trap me by poking holes in every condom, until I realized I'd had a tubectomy 6 months earlier and never told him. Imagine walking into your home, seeking refuge from a blinding migraine, only to find the man you love, the man you share your life with, meticulously stabbing holes into your birth control. That Tuesday afternoon, my entire world shattered, not with a bang, but with the chilling, methodical prick of a sewing needle through a condom wrapper, a betrayal so profound it still steals my breath. I stood frozen in the doorway, the hallway light catching the glint of that needle. My brain struggled to process what my eyes were seeing. Tyler, my Tyler, meticulously, methodically, poking tiny, precise holes into a condom wrapper. He was so focused, so careful, he didn't even see me at first. When he finally looked up, his face drained of all color. "Amber," he breathed, my name hanging in the air like a death sentence. That needle was still in his hand. I couldn't speak. My legs moved on their own, carrying me into the kitchen, my hands gripping the cold countertop to stop their violent shaking. I heard the bathroom drawer click shut, his footsteps following me, drawing closer. "Let me explain," he started, his voice a desperate whisper. I actually laughed. A harsh, choked sound I barely recognized as my own. "Explain what, exactly, Tyler? Explain how you've been trying to get me pregnant without my consent? Because from where I'm standing, it looks exactly like that." He ran a hand through his hair, a nervous habit I used to find endearing. Now, it just made me want to smash a plate over his head. "We've been together for 3 years, he pleaded. "I love you. I want to start a family with you. You keep saying you're not ready, but Amber, you're 31. We're running out of time." So, he decided to take away my choice? "I was going to tell you eventually," he actually had the gall to say. "Once you were pregnant, you'd see, you'd be happy about it." I just stared. Really, truly looked at this man I'd shared 2 years and countless dreams with, the man I'd thought might be my husband. His familiar face, the tiny scar above his eyebrow, the way his eye crinkled when he smiled, all of it suddenly alien. I didn't know him. "Get out," I said, my voice dangerously calm. "Amber, come on. Let's talk. Get out." He tried to reach for me, but I recoiled as if he were venomous. "Don't you dare touch me. Please, just listen." "Tyler," I said, "get out." "I mean it. Pack a bag and leave." He just stood there for a beat, calculating, strategizing, like I was a puzzle to be solved, not a human being he had just fundamentally violated. That cold calculation, that utter disregard for me, that was what truly broke me. He left. Took a few clothes, his laptop, and he was gone. After he left, I sank to the cold kitchen floor, leaning against the cabinets. I should have been sobbing, raging, tearing the place apart. And yes, anger simmered, a low, steady burn. But mostly, there was this profound, almost eerie calm. Because here's the thing Tyler didn't know. The secret I'd been keeping for 6 months. 6 months ago, I had a tubal ligation. My tubes were tied. I couldn't get pregnant even if I wanted to. Now, let me rewind a little. Let me tell you how I got to that point. I've always known I didn't want children. Not in some angry, defiant way, but in a quiet, deeply personal understanding of myself. As I grew, that maybe someday morphed into a probably not, then a definitely not. I cherished my freedom, my ability to travel on a whim, to sleep in on Saturdays, to just be without the immense responsibility of another human's life. I loved the version of Amber that existed without the weight of motherhood. And Tyler? He knew this from the very beginning. On our 3rd date, sipping wine at a little Italian place, I told him straight up, I don't think I ever want kids. I wanted him to understand this fundamental part of me. He looked at me, candlelight dancing in his eyes, and said, "No, it's not a problem. I'd rather be with you." That someday and that hedging? That should have been my first red flag, a neon sign flashing danger. But I was falling for him, and I desperately wanted to believe love could bridge any gap. For 2 blissful years, it seemed to. We were happy. We built a life, moved in together, talked about dogs, planned trips to Portugal and Japan. We had our inside jokes, our Sunday morning routines. Life felt full and good. Then Mason arrived, Tyler's nephew, his brother's new baby. And that's when everything started to shift. It wasn't immediate. At first, Tyler was just a proud uncle. Cute, I thought. Normal. But slowly, subtly, children started to creep into every conversation, every aspect of our lives. He'd get this wistful, longing look when he saw a baby. He'd send me articles, women who changed their minds, the ticking biological clock, the joys of motherhood. He'd ask, "Don't you think it would be nice to have a mini-us running around?" And I'd say, no, I really don't, Tyler. I'm serious. I don't want children. But the pressure just kept mounting. The hints, the suggestions, the insidious comments about how natural I was with kids, how I'd regret it if we didn't at least try. Our disagreements escalated into full-blown fights, leaving us sleeping on opposite sides of the bed, a chasm between us. He accused me of being selfish, of stringing him along. I told you from the start. I'd scream. I never strung you along. He'd retort, people change. I thought you'd change. Those fights always ended the same way, him sulking, me riddled with guilt for not being the woman he wanted, both of us pretending until the next time the subject inevitably resurfaced. 6 months ago, after yet another one of those circular, soul-draining conversations, I finally made the appointment. I'd been thinking about it for ages, making this deeply personal decision permanent, taking undeniable control of my own body, my own future. My doctor, Dr. Patterson, a kind, no-nonsense woman who'd known me for years, didn't bat an eye. Are you sure, Amber? It's permanent. I'm sure, I told her. I've never been more sure of anything. She asked about Tyler. I hesitated. He wants kids. I don't. This is my decision. My body. She simply nodded, explained the procedure, the risks, the permanence. No judgment, no lecture. Just information. I signed the forms, scheduled the surgery. I didn't tell Tyler. I rationalized it, telling myself I needed to make the decision purely for me, free from his influence. But deep down, a gut feeling, a primal instinct I couldn't quite articulate knew that telling him would be dangerous, that he would try to stop me, make it about him. The procedure itself was quick, outpatient. I told him I was having a minor gynecological thing. And bless his heart, Tyler, like most men, instantly tuned out. The word cervix truly is a conversation killer. I took 2 days off, spent them on the couch, watching trash TV, while he brought me soup, sweet and attentive. He had no idea. My choice was made. My body was mine again, not that it had ever not been, but now it was irrevocably, undeniably mine. It was like locking a door I hadn't even realized was standing open. I kept meaning to tell him. This weekend, I'd think. I'll sit him down. But fear, or perhaps the subconscious knowledge that our relationship couldn't survive it, always stopped me. I loved him, or at least the version of him I thought I knew. The Tyler who made my coffee, left notes, knew my favorite podcasts. That Tyler I adored. The real Tyler, the one poking holes in condoms, the one willing to violate my autonomy, that Tyler was still a stranger to me. We were both keeping secrets. The moment he was truly gone, a cold resolve settled over me. I tore through the apartment like a detective at a crime scene. And it was a crime scene. I found more boxes of condoms, in his gym bag, his nightstand, even the guest bathroom. All tampered with. Tiny, almost invisible pinpricks, some with multiple holes, proving he'd been thorough. Then, in his desk, a notebook. He'd been tracking my cycle. Dates, ovulation windows, notes like, try harder this week, more spontaneous, get her relaxed first. I felt physically ill. Nauseous. This wasn't love, this was chilling, calculated manipulation. My body was just a vessel, my consent irrelevant. There were even notes about his plans for my pregnancy, for our baby. Like it was already a done deal. I took pictures of everything, every damning detail. Proof. Because I knew, deep down, I'd need it. Tyler's texts started that night, then calls, desperate voicemails. Amber, I know I messed up, let me explain, I love you. Don't throw away what we have. His voice was a frantic plea, but I was deaf to it. Each message, each call, just a further confirmation of his calculated cruelty. I listened once, deleted, and on day 4, I blocked him. I gave him nothing. That weekend, I called Rachel, my ride-or-die best friend since college. She showed up with coffee and bagels, took one look at my face and knew. I poured it all out, the needle, the condoms, the horrifying notebook, every calculated detail. Her mouth literally hung open. Her coffee went cold. Holy sh*T Amber, she finally breathed. That's reproductive coercion. That's assault. You could press charges. I nodded, wrestling with the idea. Would anyone believe me? Would they take it seriously? Rachel squeezed my hand. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. And then I told her the other secret. The tubal ligation. The 6 months I'd kept it hidden. When I finished, Rachel erupted. She threw her head back and laughed. Deep, belly-aching laughter, tears streaming down her face. Oh my god, Amber, she choked out. He's been poking holes in condoms for months, and the whole time you've been shooting blanks. That's the most beautiful, poetic justice I've ever heard. And then I started laughing too. It was a release, a dam breaking. The horror, the absurdity, the sheer relief, all coalesced into a raw, cathartic joy. We laughed until our sides hurt. Does he know? She gasped, wiping her eyes. Have you told him? No. Are you going to? I pictured him, constantly checking his phone, calculating, waiting for my good news, growing more confused, more frustrated, wondering why his meticulously evil plan wasn't working. Not yet, I grinned. Let him wonder. You're evil, she said, a wide smile on her face. I love it. We spent the rest of the day just being pizza movies. Uncomplicated, easy. Exactly what I needed. The next 2 weeks were a blur of Tyler's desperate attempts. Emails, pages long, flowing with apologies, explanations, justifications. I read them all, a growing fury in my gut. He blamed his childhood, his longing for family, his love for me. Not once did he acknowledge the violation, the absolute disregard for my autonomy. He even sent flowers to my office, a massive bouquet. My coworkers cooed, "Who's the lucky guy?" I just handed them to the receptionist. "Enjoy," I said, "I don't want them." Then he showed up at my apartment. I watched him through the peephole for 20 agonizing minutes, a bag of my favorite pad thai in his hand, pleading for me to talk. I felt like a prisoner in my own home, peering out at the man who had just shattered my trust. He eventually left, defeated. I opened the door, picked up the bag, and without a second thought, tossed it. I couldn't accept anything from him. That open door needed to stay shut. Then my sister, Jennifer, called. She's 4 years younger, 2 kids, always played by the rules: college, marriage, house babies. The good daughter. I was always the messy one, the disappointment. Tyler had called her, spinning a story about a fight. She tried to mediate. "Amber, he sounds so upset. Maybe you should give him a chance." A hot, furious wave washed over me. He tried to baby trap me, Jen. He was poking holes in condoms. A deafening silence followed. Then, "Are you sure? Tyler's always been so sweet." I explained the notebook, the pictures, the undeniable evidence. "That's really messed up," she finally conceded. But then came the kicker. "But Amber, he loves you. Maybe he just got desperate because you're not getting any younger. Your eggs don't last forever." I hung up. Just like that. Mid-sentence. My own sister, blaming me, justifying his monstrous actions with my supposed biological clock. She called back immediately, sent texts, but I was done. Done with excuses, done with people suggesting his desire for children gave him the right to violate me. Work became my sanctuary. A project manager at a tech startup, I buried myself in deadlines, code, and spreadsheets. Anything to escape the deafening silence of my apartment, the echoes of betrayal in my own head. My boss probably thought I was gunning for a promotion, but really, I was just running. One night, a month after Tyler left, I was the last one in the office. The city lights twinkled outside, beautiful but distant. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something compelled me to answer. Amber, a woman's voice, tentative, unfamiliar. "My name is Olivia. You don't know me, but I need to talk to you about Tyler." My stomach plummeted. My hand tightened around the phone. "Who is this?" I managed to ask. "I'm Tyler's ex-girlfriend. Before you. I heard what happened, and I need to warn you." The blood drained from my face. "Warn me about what?" "He did the same thing to me," she whispered, her voice trembling. "The condoms. The baby trapping. All of it." My world tilted. "What? 3 years ago," she said. "For years together." She was 25, in grad school, not ready for kids. Then she felt sick, tired, missed her period. Positive test. But they'd been careful, double protected. Then she found the condoms. Poked full of holes. Just like mine. I fumbled, putting the phone on speaker, my hands shaking uncontrollably. "What did you do?" I confronted him. He admitted it. Said we were meant to be parents, that I'd be happy once the baby came. He was so calm, Amber. So utterly calm, like he hadn't just shattered my trust, violated my body, stolen my future. Her voice broke. I wasn't happy. I was terrified. I was furious. I terminated the pregnancy. And I left him. I couldn't speak. My throat was a knot. My chest a vice. I should have reported him, Olivia continued, but I was so ashamed. I felt like it was my fault. We talked for an hour. Every detail she shared, His love bombing, the subtle pressure for kids, the obsession after his brother had a baby, the justification. It was like hearing my own story, told by someone else. Are there others? I asked, dread coiling in my gut. I suspect so, she said. There was a Brittany after me. She got out before it went as far as us, but she also mentioned his boundary crossing, his tracking her cycle. It was a pattern. A chilling, predatory pattern. We exchanged numbers, promising to stay in touch, to support each other. But then, just as we were about to hang up, Olivia dropped another bomb. There's something else, Amber. After I left him, I found out he'd been lying about money. He had massive debts, maxed out credit cards. He'd even borrowed $5,000 from my parents for a fake business investment, never paid it back. Just be careful. Check your accounts. He might have taken more from you than just your trust. My stomach lurched. How deep did this rabbit hole go? Still reeling from Olivia's call, I sat in the silent, dark office. Then, with a leaden heart, I opened my laptop. The joint savings account we'd been diligently contributing to for 18 months, it should have held nearly $18,000. It had $412. My breath hitched. Thousands gone, systematically siphoned off by Tyler in small, undetectable withdrawals. It wasn't just the money, it was the chilling realization that he'd been stealing from me while looking me in the eye, planning my forced pregnancy. The betrayal was bottomless. I checked my personal accounts, and there it was, a credit card, opened in my name, with an $8,000 balance. Identity theft. Tyler, my loving boyfriend, had used my personal information I'd given him because I trusted him, to commit fraud. I called Rachel. It was nearly midnight, but she answered immediately. I need you, I choked out. Now. 20 minutes later, she was there, disheveled from sleep but ready. I told her everything, Olivia, the stolen money, the identity theft, the gut-wrenching truth that the man I thought I loved was nothing but a calculated performance, a mask hiding a monster. We're going to the police, Rachel declared, her voice firm. Tomorrow, first thing. This is fraud. This is theft. This is... God, I don't even know what else to call it. And then, a glint in her eye. And you're going to tell him about the tubal. You're going to let him know all his sick little plans were for nothing. The thought of that confrontation, of taking back my power, of watching his face crumble with the weight of that poetic justice. Yeah, I said, a slow, determined smile spreading across my face. I am. The next day, with Rachel by my side, I filed a police report. I walked into that station, carrying a folder stuffed with damning evidence. The condom photos, the notebook, the bank statements, the credit card statements, the fraud report. Detective Lisa Morrison, a woman with weary but knowing eyes, listened patiently, taking notes, asking precise questions. This happens more than you'd think, she said, a quiet fire in her gaze. Reproductive coercion, financial abuse. Most women don't report it. They're ashamed, scared, think no one will believe them. Her words, "Thank you for coming forward," hit me with unexpected force. This isn't your fault, Amber. None of it. I nodded, tears pricking my eyes. Part of me still blamed myself, but hearing it from her, a professional, was a profound relief. I left the station feeling lighter, like I'd finally set down an unbearable burden, taking the first step towards justice, towards reclaiming myself. From the parking lot, I called Tyler. He answered on the first ring, his voice buzzing with false hope. Amber. Oh my God, Amber, I'm so glad you called. I'm not pregnant. I cut him off, my voice steady, ice cold. I know you've been waiting to hear. I know you've been checking your phone every day, but I'm not pregnant, Tyler. And I never will be. A beat of stunned silence. What are you talking about? He finally choked out. I had a tubal ligation 6 months ago, Tyler. Before you even started poking holes in condoms. My tubes are tied. I couldn't get pregnant even if I wanted to. The silence on the other end was absolute heavy. I could almost picture his face, draining of color, his mind racing to catch up. You're lying, he whispered, his voice now hard, venomous. I'm not. I have the medical records. Every hole you poked, every date you tracked, every calculation you made. It was all for nothing. I was never going to give you what you wanted, because I already made sure I couldn't. Why didn't you tell me? His voice cracked. The pure, unadulterated audacity of that question made me bark out a bitter laugh. Why didn't I tell you? I echoed. Why didn't you tell me you were tampering with our birth control? Why didn't you tell me you were stealing from our savings account? Why didn't you tell me you opened a credit card in my name and charged $8,000 to it? Why didn't you tell me you did the exact same thing to your ex-girlfriend? What? Who told you about Olivia? That's different. It wasn't different, Tyler. It's exactly the same. You have a pattern. You love bomb, you pressure, and when you don't get what you want, you try to force it. You try to steal my choice, my body, my future. But you can't trap someone who's already free. Amber, please, let me explain, I don't want your explanation. I don't want your apologies. I don't want anything from you. I filed a police report for reproductive coercion, for financial fraud, for identity theft. They're investigating you. They'll be in touch. You did what? Amber, you can't. I hung up. My hands weren't shaking. My voice was steady. I felt a surge of raw, unadulterated power, a feeling I hadn't known in months. I felt like myself again. Tyler tried every trick in the book to get back to me. Calls, texts, emails, social media messages. I systematically blocked and filtered him out of my life. He was being erased, slowly, methodically, just as he'd tried to erase my choices. The legal process dragged on, weeks bleeding into months. Lawyers, depositions, telling my humiliating story over and over again. Each time, it got a little easier, a little less raw. But each time, I also had to relive it, articulate how the man I thought I loved had violated every part of me. Detective Morrison, though, she was a force. Relentless. She tracked down Olivia, who bravely gave a statement. Then Brittany, the woman between Olivia and me, also came forward, confirming Tyler's predatory pattern. She'd felt hunted, she said, and escaped before he could go as far with her. He's a predator, Detective Morrison told me bluntly, not in the traditional sense. But he targets women, manipulates them, takes what he wants without consent. She was right. That's exactly what he was. During all this, I moved. A new apartment, high floor, big windows overlooking a different part of the city. A place that was just mine. No shared memories, no ghosts, no lingering scent of him. Rachel and my coworkers helped me move, packing up the pieces of my shattered life and rebuilding them elsewhere. I painted the bedroom a soft blue, bought new furniture, new sheets. I adopted a cranky, one-eared orange tabby from the shelter, a difficult cat, they warned. Perfect, I said, and named him Detective. He was annoying and demanding, but exactly what I needed. I also started therapy with Dr. Helen Reeves, a specialist in trauma. My first session, she asked why I was there. My boyfriend tried to baby trap me, I said, and steal from me, and violate every boundary I had. She simply nodded, unshocked. We worked through the layers of betrayal, the complicated grief of losing someone who never truly existed, the erosion of my trust. You're grieving multiple losses, she explained. The relationship, the future you imagined, your sense of safety. I confessed, I feel so stupid for not seeing it. You're not stupid, she countered gently. He's a manipulator. He showed you what you wanted to see until it was too late. It's not your fault you trusted him. I was working on believing her. Eventually, Jennifer and I reconciled. She'd sent countless apologies, a long, heartfelt email admitting she'd been wrong, projecting her own life choices onto me, influenced by our mom's impossible expectations. We met for coffee. She looked exhausted, but honest. I'm so sorry, Amber. What Tyler did was inexcusable, and I made it worse. I asked her why. Honestly, part of me was jealous. You have this freedom I don't have. And when Tyler was trying to trap you into my life, part of me wanted you to be trapped, too, so I wouldn't be alone. It was a raw, unexpected admission. We talked for 3 hours about our lives, our mom, our different paths. I love my kids, she stressed, but some days, I look at your life and I'm envious. That conversation healed a rift I didn't realize had gone so deep. We could be sisters again, truly. Not just by blood, but by understanding and support. My career also flourished. That mobile app I'd poured myself into? It was a massive success. The company grew, and just as my boss, Kevin, probably predicted, I got that promotion. Senior Project Manager. Better title, better pay, more responsibility. I earned it. I celebrated with Rachel and my coworkers, feeling a sense of normalcy, of progress. Meanwhile, the legal wheels turned, slowly, inexorably. Tyler's lawyer tried to spin it as a domestic spat, tried to paint me as a vindictive ex. But Detective Morrison was a bulldog. She dug deeper, found more evidence, built an undeniable case. She made it clear, what Tyler did wasn't just wrong, it was illegal. Tyler eventually took a plea deal, pleading guilty to fraud and theft. The reproductive coercion became part of the public record, his pattern laid bare for anyone to see. He got probation, community service, a fine. Not the grand justice you see in movies, but it was something. More than nothing. More than he would have gotten if I'd stayed silent. And the best part, the thing that truly satisfied a deep, primal part of me? He had to pay back every single cent he stole, with interest. $9,000 from our savings, $8,000 from that fraudulent credit card. Plus fees. He also had to issue formal apologies to me, Olivia, and Brittany, all part of the public court record. My apology arrived in a certified letter. I didn't even open it. I threw it away. I didn't need his apology. I needed my freedom. Olivia called after she got hers. It's garbage, she said. All about him, how he's changed, how he's in therapy. We both laughed. Sounds about right. But then she said, you know what? It's over. He can't hurt us anymore. We won. She was right. We did. We survived. We spoke up. We were believed. And that was victory. About a year after everything blew up, I was at my favorite coffee shop, savoring an overpriced latte and the simple joy of a Saturday morning that was entirely mine. Detective, my grumpy feline sidekick, was probably redecorating my apartment by knocking things off shelves, but I didn't care. He was my cat. Then, a young woman approached my table, nervous, fidgeting. Excuse me, she asked, are you Amber? Tyler gave me your name. Said you'd tell me the truth about your breakup. My blood ran cold. He's dating again. Emily, maybe mid-20s, looked scared, vulnerable. Exactly Tyler's type. She explained he was pushing for kids, and she wasn't ready. I gestured for her to sit. I told her everything. Every horrifying detail. The condoms, the notebook, the theft, Olivia, Brittany, the court case, the plea deal. Her face went from pale to ghostly white. You need to leave him, I stated, my voice urgent. Today. Don't let him explain. Don't let him talk you into staying. Just get out. But he seemed so normal, she whispered, so romantic. How did I not see it? Because he's a master at playing the role, I said. But, Emily, this is who he is. This is what he does. When she questioned my truthfulness, I pulled out my phone, showed her the court records, the public documents, his plea deal, his apologies. This is real, I told her. This is who he is. She left abruptly, clutching a napkin with my number. 2 days later, she called. I did it, she said, her voice shaking but resolute. I left. He tried to stop me, cried, begged, said he'd changed, but I left. You saved me, Amber. My heart swelled. I gave her Olivia's number. We built a network, women connected by Tyler's betrayal, supporting each other, warning others. It felt like reclaiming power, like protecting each other in a way no one had protected us. It's been 2 years since that Tuesday, since I stood in that doorway, my world imploding. 2 years since I started to painstakingly rebuild my life into something stronger, something infinitely better. I'm 33 now. I have a career I love, an apartment that's truly mine, every inch a reflection of me. I have Detective, my cranky, perfect cat, who tolerates me and occasionally blesses me with a headbutt. I have Rachel, my unwavering anchor, and Jennifer, my sister, who now truly sees me. My therapist, Dr. Reeves, and I meet less frequently now because I'm healing, processing, and learning to trust again, most importantly, to trust myself. And I have a body that is completely, entirely, unequivocally mine. That tubal ligation was one of the best decisions I ever made. It wasn't just about protecting myself from Tyler, it was about claiming total control, absolute certainty over my own future. My choice not to have children is no longer a discussion point, it's a settled fact. I'm dating again, slowly, cautiously, but with a newfound trust in my instincts, a fierce willingness to walk away from anything that doesn't feel right. People ask if I regret those 3 years with Tyler, if I feel like I wasted my time. I don't. Those years were a brutal, painful lesson in boundaries, in self-preservation, in understanding that love, real love, respects your choices, honors your autonomy. Real love doesn't try to control you, steal from you, or trap you. I learned I am stronger than I ever imagined, capable of surviving betrayal, rebuilding from ashes, and finding profound happiness and freedom on my own terms. Loneliness isn't solitary confinement, it's simply being unburdened. Last month, I saw Tyler at the grocery store. My first time seeing him in person since before the court case. He was by the bananas, I was at the organic apples. He saw me and froze. I could have turned away, but I didn't. I pushed my cart right up to him. Amber, he said, startled. Hi, Tyler. How are you? I'm good, I replied, and meant it. Really good, actually. He mumbled an apology, talked about therapy, about being better. That's good, I said, genuinely, not for him, but for any woman he might encounter next. He admitted Emily had told him I'd warned her. She deserved to know the truth, I told him. He spoke of a new girlfriend, of being different this time. Good luck with that, I said. No sarcasm, just nothing. He was just a person. A closed chapter. He asked if I was seeing anyone. That's none of your business. Right. I hope you're happy. I am, I said, happier than I ever was with you. And it was true. Every single word. I walked away, leaving him in the produce aisle, a ghost of my past. I finished my shopping, went home, fed Detective, made a meal, watched a movie. A perfectly ordinary Saturday. A perfectly free Saturday. A perfectly mine Saturday. That night, as I drifted to sleep, I thought about that Tuesday 2 years ago, the needle, the betrayal. But mostly, I thought about the secret I'd been keeping, the tubal ligation. The choice I'd made to protect my body, my future. He tried to trap me, to manipulate me, to violate every boundary I had. But he couldn't trap someone who was already free. That was the thing he never understood. You can't control someone who refuses to be controlled. You can't trap someone who's already found the door. I found that door 6 months before I even knew there was a trap. Some deep, primal instinct told me my body was mine, and I needed to protect it. And so I did. His grand plan fell apart because of a decision I made when I still thought he loved me. The irony is truly poetic. Justice isn't always a dramatic movie ending. It's me living my life, making my choices, being free. Tyler was a chapter, a painful, important one that taught me so much. But just a chapter. My story keeps going, and I'm the one writing it now. Every word, every page, every choice. I decide what happens next. I decide who gets to be in my life and who stays out. I decide what my future looks like. I decide everything. And that, more than any punishment he received, is the most beautiful justice of all. That I got free. That I took my power back. That I chose myself again and again and again. That's freedom. That's victory. That's everything.